Hello everyone, Swezi here, back with another video. And today I want to talk about another type of visa. This visa is known as the graduate visa, or other people just call it post-study visa. As the name suggests, after you have studied, get the visa after, right? Yeah. So once you come to study, let's say you want to come study a master's, right? So you study your master's, and then let's say it's just 1 year. You start September 2025, and then you finish September 2026. Now, the UK government allows for you to apply for the graduate visa, in which you will be given 2 more years to stay within the UK. Now, I'll go online, I'll show you a lot more about this visa and the like. Now, this video would apply to two different sets of people. If you're already in the UK, you have just finished or you are studying, but you'd like to stay, maybe you may want to watch this video. I'm sure you have already heard about this before. Or if you come to the UK, this is what you will have to do once you finish your studies, right? So what I'll do, as always, I'll get my PC, I'll start showing you the requirements of the post-study visa. Now, you have to be in the UK when you're applying for this visa. Now, it's different for the other visas that I've talked about. For example, the skilled worker visa, the health and care worker visa. I've talked about any other visa that I've talked about. You can apply outside UK. But for this one, you have to be in the UK at the time that you are applying for this visa. Now, let me share my screen for you to see the requirements and everything to do with this visa, right? So yeah, as always, back here, show you my screen in a moment. But yeah, how you guys doing? I always ask that question. Yeah, why am I always asking that question? So as you can see on my screen, so you can just Google graduate visa, and then you come on this page. So let's just click it here. So what do they say about the graduate visa? So on the overview, they say a graduate visa gives you permission to stay in the UK for at least 2 years after successfully completing a course in the UK, right? So remember, I said this to say you must be in the UK when you apply. So this is very important. You can't say, okay, after I finish my studies, I'll go back, let's say, to Malawi, or I'll go back to Zambia, and then I'll go apply. You have to be in the UK when you apply. Now, let us look at the eligibility. Now, you can apply for a graduate visa if all of the following are true. You are in the UK. We've talked about that. Your current visa is a student visa or tier 4 general student visa. Now, this is more like you're switching from a student visa to a graduate visa. So you must be on a visa. So you can't be on a skilled worker visa and say you're switching to a graduate. No, you must be coming from a student visa or tier 4 visa, right? So the third point says you studied in a UK bachelor's degree, postgraduate degree, or other eligible course for a minimum period of time with your student visa or tier 4 student visa, right? A little more light. Yeah. The fourth point says your education provider, such as your university or college, has told the home office you have successfully completed your course. So this is also very important, right? Your university should communicate to the home office. Now, as I always say, there are two different entities at play for any type of visa that we have talked about. The student visa, I said, we have the university itself, and then we have the home office. Now, the university doesn't process visas. They can help you to have a successful visa, but they don't process the visas themselves, right? So they're saying you can ask your education provider if you are not sure whether they have told the home office you've successfully completed your course. So at whatever university you find yourself studying, just ask them to say, I'd like to notify, have you notified the home office that I've completed my course and the like. Then um, they will notify them. Now let's check if your course is eligible. And now on this one, they're saying To be eligible for a graduate visa, you need to have successfully completed the course you took with your current student visa or Tier 4 general student visa. Whether you can apply will also depend on one, the education provider for your course, for example, your university or college, the kind of course you took, and how long you studied in the UK. So now they've broken it down here on the education provider, the course, as well as on the duration. So on the course, on the education provider for your course must be a licensed sponsor with a track record of compliance. Check if your education provider has a track record of compliance. You can just click this link and then you'll be able to see. Right? So on the course, they're saying you usually must have one of the following to apply: a UK bachelor's degree, a UK master's degree, a UK PhD or doctorate. You can also apply if you have completed any of the following: a law conversion course, the legal practice course in England and Wales, the bar practice course in England and Wales, a postgraduate certificate in education, or a postgraduate diploma in education, right? Um, so yeah, let's go on the saying. You may also be able to apply if passing your course made you eligible for a job that's regulated by UK law or a UK public authority. Your education provider can tell you if your course is eligible. Yeah. So for information like that, you can just ask your university. They'll be able to give you information, right? So they're saying if you are on a student visa because you are a student union sabbatical officer, you can apply for a graduate visa if you are on your current student visa or Tier 4 student visa because you are a student union sabbatical officer. To be eligible, you need to have successfully completed one of these courses in the UK just before you started your current visa, right? So let's go to the next point. How long you have studied in the UK. You need to have studied in the UK for either at least 12 months if your course's total length is more than 12 months, the total length of your course if its total length is shorter than 12 months. You must also be in UK when you apply for a graduate visa. So don't rush home. Don't rush home and say, you know what, I need to go home. No, don't rush home. Apply for the visa first before you go home. All right. So what counts as time spent in the UK? Then you'll be able to read that. If you could not study in the UK because of COVID, so I think this is a timeline from 2020 to 2022, and they're talking about the visa, student visa here. All right, so let's go back. Um, where were we? Okay, how long? So a graduate visa lasts for 2 years. If you have a PhD or other doctoral qualification, it will last for 3 years. Your visa will start from the day your application is approved. All right. So they're saying if you want to stay longer in the UK, you cannot extend your graduate visa. However, you may be able to switch to a different visa. For example, a skilled worker visa. Now, I'll explain that in a moment. Now, they're saying check you can apply for another type of visa to study in the UK, right? To stay, no study, stay in the UK. So how to apply? You can click here. This is for your partner and children. And then when can you apply? So you must apply before your student Tier 4 visa expires. You can also apply after your education provider, such as your university or college, has told the Home Office that you've successfully completed the course you took with your student Tier 4 student visa. You do not have to wait until you have graduated or have been given a certificate. So as long as the communication has been done by your university to the Home Office, you can apply. So on getting a decision, they're saying once you've applied online, proved your identity and provided your documents, you usually get a decision on your visa within 8 weeks. So that's straight 2 months. So yeah, you may just have to wait 2 months before you get your decision. You can stay in the UK while you wait for a decision. Now, how much does it cost? When you apply for a graduate visa, you need to pay 880, the application fee, but also you have to pay the healthcare surcharge. This is usually £1,035 for each year you'll be in the UK. So you can just multiply the £1,035 um, multiplied by 2, because it will be 2 years if you're a master's or bachelor's degree. But if you're a PhD, you can do that times 3, so you'll be able to get it. So that's like what 2070, right? Yeah, I think, yeah, around that. So yeah, so they're saying if you work in a public sector healthcare, if you're a doctor or nurse, or you work in health or other social care, check if you're eligible to apply for the health and care worker visa. So I've already done a video on this one. You can go check it. And yeah, so what you can and cannot do. So this is very important. They're saying with a graduate visa, you can work in most jobs, look for work, be self-employed, continue living in the UK with your partner and children if they are eligible, do voluntary work, travel abroad, and return to the UK. But you cannot apply for most benefits, public funds, or state pension, work in a professional sports person. Work as a professional sports person. You cannot do this. But as I said, it's funny how they've put it here, right? You can work in most jobs, so it means it is kind of like open, right? So you can only study with a graduate visa if your chosen course is not eligible for a student visa, right? If your course is eligible for a student visa, you can extend your student visa instead. So you can be able to click that and read. Right. So that's it, guys. To do with the graduate visa, this one is kind of like straightforward because for the most part, you're just switching from a student tier 4 visa to a graduate visa, right? So I wanted to say one important thing to say: if you find yourself doing studies here in the UK, and then let's say you're doing a master's and you finish your master's and you've applied for a post-study visa or the graduate visa that we've just talked about, I'll say one thing: if possible, as soon as you have the post-study visa, start looking for a skilled worker visa role, right? Because let me be honest, 2 years will fly past you like so quick, right? So you have to make sure that you have a skilled worker visa. Unless if you tell me that what you're looking for is you finish your school, you work for 2 years, and then after that you don't care whether you're going back home. But if you want to stay in the UK, you need to find a skilled worker visa or a health and care worker visa for you to stay here, because you have to switch the visas. Because let me tell you one thing: what can happen is that if you just say, let's say the first year you say like, you know what, I'll apply for a skilled worker job later. Now you get into the second year and then you haven't been able to find a job. Trust me, you can find yourself panicking because you want to switch your visa, right? So spare yourself any form of panicking, and if possible, the moment you get a post-study visa, start looking for a skilled worker visa. Now you can get another job, but also always be on the lookout for a skilled worker visa or a health and care worker visa. I hope you do find this video helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.